Welcome to Yoga with Gretchen. Today we're going to be talking about chaturangas, how to do them properly, and how to work your way up to them. So in my classes, I like to give 3 options. You're always going to start the same way. Fingers always got to be wide, gripping with your fingertips. And the reason why we do this, you want to keep them wide, grip with the fingertips to create a tiny dome in your hands. The reason for that is to protect your wrists from things like carpal tunnel, because doing things like this repeatedly after a while can wear down the cartilage in your wrists. So you want to keep them nice and strong by gripping with the fingertips, activating the hands rather than dumping into the wrists. So shoulders over hands, again, gripping with your fingertips and spreading the fingers nice and wide. Feet are hip distance apart, and you're going to start in plank. Now, sometimes you might notice if you want to take a picture of yourself or something in plank, or just find a mirror where you can do it. And if you sometimes dip here in the hips, that's going to really affect your low back time and time again. So there's also people who might be overcompensating and sticking their hips up too high, which is really hard on the neck and shoulders. So maybe if you can, either get a picture of yourself or ask a friend to just look at you while you do a plank, just to make sure that you're doing them properly. So if you do sink like this, think about lifting your hips higher. And if you do lift your hips too high, think about bringing it down slightly until you really feel those abs activate. You want to feel it here and even down in the lower abdomen. So feet hip distance, hands shoulder distance, gripping with the fingertips, and their fingers are nice and wide. Micro bend in the elbows to avoid hyperextension. The first option here is just to hold high plank. And then you would skip coming down, you'd skip like the up dog or the baby cobra, and you would just meet everyone in down dog. Second option, from plank, you're going to roll onto your toes, lower to your knees. Untuck the toes so the tops of the feet are on your mat, and then lower down, bringing your elbows in until you come all the way down to your belly and chest. And then usually on an inhale, you'll lift up for baby cobra. And now you want to push into the tops of your feet so much that your kneecaps lift off of your mat. I don't know if you can see my kneecaps, but they are lifted. And then you lift your chest, squeeze the elbows together behind you to open up your chest and your heart. And little to no weight in your hands. The back muscles are doing all the work here. Lower yourself back down, tuck your toes, push yourself to down dog. Last option, which is a full chaturanga. Again, starting in high plank, feet are hip distance, hands are shoulder distance, fingers are wide, gripping with your fingertips, micro bend in the elbows. Roll onto your toes again. Lower down, bringing your elbows in towards your ribs, hovering off of your mat. Untuck your toes, lift your chest, knees are lifted here, pulling your heart through. And instead of dumping into the shoulders, you want to think about pushing so much into the hands that you're lifting out of the shoulders. And then you'll push to down dog. And now, a lot of times, people think a chaturanga is similar to a push-up, which it is. However, a normal push-up, usually the elbows are coming out, like this. But for us, we want the elbows coming in towards you, towards the ribs, like hugging against the rib cage here, as opposed to being out. And the reason for this is because this is going to build you up to do things like inversions, whether that's a full handstand or something like crow or crane. So that's the whole reason behind all of that. And that covers your 3 options for your chaturanga. So it's hold high plank and meet in down dog. Second option, lower to the knees and then all the way down, but you always keep your knees lifted on that baby cobra. Third option, full chaturanga, hovering your body off of your mat, always bring the elbows in, Fingers nice and wide, gripping with the fingertips. When you come up to your up dog, always lift the knees, always keep those lifted. That'll protect your low back. And think about lifting out of the shoulders. Hope this helps, and let me know if you have any questions. See you next time.